It's the American dream. Join Rachel as she highlights traditional American values that have been at the core of this nation for 250 years and will continue for the next 250. Follow and listen now at foxnewspodcast.com.
America, raise a glass to our 250th birthday with the Fox News Wine Shop, featuring limited edition USA 250 wines. Plus, get 20% off your first purchase with code FNRadio20. And remember, wines are delivered straight to your door, so don't wait. Order now at foxnewswineshop.com and use code FNRadio20 to save. 20% discount excludes wine club offers and cannot be combined with any other promotion. Expires July 31st, 2026. Must be 21 or older to order. Please drink responsibly.
Japan's prime minister says rescue teams are in a race against time, with 13 people confirmed dead from yesterday's earthquake.
Prime Minister Sake Takaichi says people are still waiting to be rescued. Calling it a race against time, she promised all available resources are being committed. A shopping mall and a paper factory are among the locations being worked on. The quake hit the country's Kumamoto prefecture in the southwest yesterday with a locally reported magnitude of 7.1. 750,000 people have been sent to evacuation centres. More than 36,000 homes are without power, with temperatures reaching a humid 93 degrees. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Oscar-winning actor Jared Leto is denying allegations of sexual misconduct and assault after 4 women came forward in a BBC documentary. The 4 women say Leto was an adult and they were teenagers when the assaults occurred between 2002 and 2016. The BBC says it corroborated the women's accusations. Video released of former Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo's OWI arrest in Milwaukee last week.
Returning from a golf outing to his parents' home, Wisconsin native Tony Romo pulled over in Milwaukee on I-43 Thursday.
How many drinks have you had?
Body cam shows Romo later taking a field sobriety test at the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office.
Did I pass this test?
You turn around.
No, I didn't. Huh?
The 46-year-old former star QB never mentioned his celebrity status before or after he was later booked, then released for a first offense OWI and refusal to take a breath test. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Romo was given a September court date, though Wisconsin law does not require him to show up in person. A first-of-its-kind study suggests invasive mold infections may be an underestimated and potentially deadly threat. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Watch for a crash with road blockage on Hunt Club Street near Fenwick Avenue in Fort Walton Beach. Heavy congestion on the Bayway east on I-10 from I-65 to the Eastern Shore. Add an extra 13 minutes of drive time. We also have a crash on Blue Angel Parkway at Muldoon Road. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by RockAuto.com.
Oh, Ben Tyrod, what are you going to do?
I'm way ahead of you. I'll be on RockAuto.com before you can even finish this commercial.
He's right. RockAuto.com. Parts when you need them.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Wonderful town, wonderful people, places to go, things to see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Beautiful homes, schools and churches, entertainment, places to shop. My heart's in Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Mobile, the center of transportation, business and industry set the pace. Mobile's got the Junior Miss celebration, home of Mardi Gras and Senior Bowl game.
Mobile is great to live in and work in.
The climate's ideal for progress you see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town.
And now, thank you so much for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you for being a listener here with me. And once again, just like before, it's just you and me here together, just the two of us here, trying to figure out what is going on in the world around us here. Telephone number is 251-479-2723. If there's something you want to tell me or just tell the listeners of the Uncle Henry Show, 251-479-2723 or 251-479-2723. Email address, if you'd like to send an old-fashioned electronic mail message. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. We've got so many things to get into here on the Uncle Henry Show going on the local level, national, state, just all over the place. I did notice a lot of attention this morning. A lot of people getting so excited looking at this hearing, this testimony, that whatever this was up in Washington, D.C. with the senators, Senator Rand Paul and these other senators, having Dr. Fauci come in. The highly acclaimed Dr. Fauci going in. And I know you've heard about this. You probably, if you're a talk radio listener, you've heard about it. Dr. Fauci being questioned by all these senators under the advice of his counsel, taking the Fifth Amendment. Now, this was the guy that was telling all of us what we should be doing during the pandemic. Now he will not answer questions. He will not answer questions. His attorneys have advised him to take the Fifth Amendment to avoid incriminating himself. So he's taken the Fifth Amendment. Wonder why? Why? Well, we know why. President Trump said his lawyer told him to, and that's usually when you're in situations like this, and I hope I never am in one, you do what your lawyer tells you to do. But did he need to take the Fifth Amendment? Why would he need to take the Fifth Amendment up there? But he did. It didn't matter what they asked him. He took the Fifth Amendment. Even though he was given a pardon, a big pardon by former President Biden. And who knows? Have they ever explained for what? What was he pardoned for? Just for, what was that for? But anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up, because I know a lot of people got excited about it, and I was seeing people posting on social media saying, oh, Senator so-and-so really gave Fauci, you know what? Oh, listen and watch as Senator so-and-so really tells off Fauci. Senator so-and-so really had a meltdown on Fauci. Watch this. Look, I know you probably already understand this, but I would like to underline it for you. Please do not get too excited about all this. Don't get excited about this. Don't get excited about senators being mean to Dr. Fauci and telling him off. One of the senators used a big major cuss word. Yes, used one of the top three, in my personal opinion. They're all bad. I'm not a fan of any of the cuss words. By the way, I want to thank my parents once again. I've mentioned this on the air before. I grew up never, ever hearing my parents cuss. They never cussed. The older I get and the more disgusting this world is and filthy this world is, I am more grateful to my parents than ever before. Even at this old age, I'm still grateful that they shielded my mind and had that standard in the house that we weren't going to have filth come out of our mouths. Never heard my mom curse, never heard my dad curse. They would use euphemisms. They would use other words instead of cuss words as substitutes, which was a wonderful system. I never knew what the real words were anyway. And I can remember vividly my father saying he was really mad, and he called somebody a son of a gun. And he said son of a gun it was as powerful as the real thing. But anyway, we had this senator up there today saying to Dr. Fauci, who the blank do you think you are? All this kind of stuff. Look, please calm down about this. Don't get excited. Don't get excited. That was all a show. That was all. Now, Rand Paul, I think he really is personally invested and is very upset with Fauci and would like to get Fauci and all that kind of stuff. Maybe some of these other people were. But the only reason they're doing this is because cameras were there. That's it. There were cameras there. That's why they put on a show. It was a big old show. Yelling and all this kind of stuff and saying the cuss words and asking really harsh questions. It's all a show. They'll be able to go to the folks back home and say, look, I know that we, especially we Republicans, aren't doing much of nothing while we're up in the Senate. We're not really helping Trump get his agenda moved forward. We're not doing anything up here in the Senate. But look at what I said to Fauci. It's all about fundraising, all about getting more donations for re-election and making it look like you did something when you ain't doing nothing. That's what it's all about. These Republicans up in the Senate, what have they accomplished? Have they accomplished any dadgum thing? But today they put on a show for you. And it's one of the, I'm going to vote. I always will. I'm going to try to pick the best person that I can. But I see a lot of polling claiming that voters not that enthusiastic these days. And a lot of the reasons is we send people up there to Washington and really there seems to be little evidence that anything is being done about anything important. And all we get are shows. Every few weeks, there's somebody that goes and there's a hearing and then people get yelled at and or they try to embarrass each other and everybody wants a clip, some type of audio clip or video clip under a minute where they act like I got him. Don't get excited about this. Look, you are a independent human being, and you can have whatever reaction you should have. My reaction is one of disgust when I see it. Even when I agree what they're doing, I still get disgusted by it because it's nothing but a show. And hey, they're going to have some kind of a contempt vote because they're claiming that because Fauci was pardoned, that the Fifth Amendment no longer applies. And that by not answering the questions, they're claiming that he's in contempt of Congress. Don't hold your breath on that ever happening. I think for a criminal referral to the Department of Justice, it'd be something like you'd have to clear 60 votes or something like that. It's not going to happen. They're not going to go. There will be no consequences from this. No consequences. Other than they get to raise money off of it. That'll be the consequence. And it'll give the illusion that they did something. And that's it. And that's what our Congress has been doing for a while, is giving the illusion of actually doing something. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. Hello, caller. Hello.
Record Breaker, this is Jimmy the Economist. How you doing?
Jimmy the Economist, you are live on the radio.
Oh, ain't that fantastic? How are you doing today?
I am doing pretty doggone good. I'm in air conditioning.
Me too. It's tough without it.
It is.
But I'm calling about AL01.
Yes.
The race on August 11th.
Yes.
You're talking about Congress.
Yep.
There's a guy running for Congress for AL01, and he's from Foley, Alabama. His name is Austin Sidwell.
Yes.
He played with one of your most favorite persons as a wide receiver out of Foley that was incredibly good for the Crimson Tide. I can't recall his name right now, but Julio?
Yes. Mr. Jones.
Julio down at the schoolyard?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, he was the center for that team. And he was also a U.S. Air Force helicopter pilot where he trained at Fort Rucker. Austin Sidwell.
Yes.
I'm calling to promote Austin Sidwell to all your listeners.
Okay.
They ought to consider voting for him. He's born and raised in Foley, and attended their Air Force Academy.
Okay.
Fort Rucker. Younger guy, not like the Jerry Mouse Carl age. I'm talking about younger guy.
Yeah.
Real fighter.
Yeah, I would like to interview him. I hope I can talk to him before August 11th. I'd like to interview the guy.
Well, I suggest you do so because he has my vote, and I suggest every listener to this television or this program right now consider doing the same because he is not entrenched like Jerry Mouse Carl, and he's a real fighter for our country, and that's what we need. So Austin Sidwell, AL01, August 11th, every listener, get out and do it. Give Jerry Mouse the middle finger, because he's just another part of the establishment. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you very much, Jimmy the Economist, stumping for his favorite candidate, Mr. Sidwell. And I would love to interview him and find out more about him. And speaking of the candidates, there's another Republican running named John Mills. I'm going to talk to John Mills today in the 6 o'clock hour. So if you want to hear about John Mills, now, I don't think he played football. So that's one disadvantage. But John Mills, you can find out about him in the 6 o'clock hour this evening, next hour, here on News Radio 710 WNTM, as we talk to John Mills. I'm going to take a quick time out and then more Uncle Henry Show as we move forward in the time stream here on News Radio 710 WNTM. This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Telephone number 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. News headlines coming up in just a few minutes, in less than 10 minutes. Hello, caller.
Hi, Uncle Henry.
Yes, sir. You are live on the radio.
Hey, thank you, sir. I was just looking to throw my 2 cents in. I know Jerry Carl and Jerry Mouth Carl, and I'll be voting for him rather than Austin Sitwell. We have too many sitters up there in Washington as it is. Let's get somebody who's actually going to fight for us. This guy is such a fighter, I've never heard a single word out of Austin's mouth.
Oh.
So let him just sit well.
All right, okay. All right. Anything else you want to throw in there?
I'm good. Thank you, sir. I'll be voting for Jerry Carl.
All right. Well, thank you very much for telling us.
Thank you, sir.
All right. There he goes. And see, I wish all the elections were like this, where people would call in and advocate for who they like. I would like to have people advocating for who they like. Might be able to tell us some good reasons why to vote for some of these people. 251-479-2723, the telephone number. That's 251-479-2723. And it is, this has already been mentioned on the show, but you already realize that not that many people are going to vote. So those that do vote, your vote will be counting quite heavily. It'll be a very powerful vote when you vote on August 11. So, and again, you've got Jerry Carl, and you've got Sidwell, and then you've got this guy named John Mills, and would love to interview all of the candidates if they have time between now and August 11th. Today, we're going to hear from John Mills right after 6 o'clock here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Again, the telephone number, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Want to mention something. This has nothing to do with voting, but there was a news release out today from the Mobile County Animal Shelter, and just wanted to mention this for animal lovers in Mobile County. The Mobile County Animal Shelter out on Howes Ferry Road is out with an urgent plea. They are over capacity. They really need help with all of these animals. They need help fostering some of these animals, or they need you to adopt if you have been thinking about getting a dog. They say that they have 150 adoptable adult dogs, 150, and 25 puppies. All of these need to be adopted or fostered. And you can look at them online by going to the county's website. And for the next 2 weeks, starting today, adoption fees for animals that are over a year old will be fully sponsored by Connie Hudson's office. So the adoption fees will be fully sponsored. They've got the 150 adoptable adult dogs, 25 puppies, and they've got 300 animals in their care. So if this is something you've been thinking about getting a dog. In fact, yesterday I had Ron in from Mobile Bay Coins and Fine Jewelry for the Ask the Expert show that we did last night after 6:30. And Ron told me off the air that he and his wife adopted, they already had a couple of dogs, and they adopted a new puppy. And the puppy was so rambunctious and drove the other dogs crazy, they ended up adopting yet another puppy to go with the other puppy, and now they got 4 dogs. Some families just, and they're happier than ever before with their dogs. So you could follow his example and adopt numerous dogs. Again, if you're interested in all this, get up with the Mobile County Animal Shelter, because they do have the big need now with lots and lots of dogs that need either adopting or fostering. Now, let's see. It is news time. Gonna check some news headlines and then come back with more. We got plenty more to talk about as the Uncle Henry Show continues here on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Decided to vote by a 9-3 vote to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 3.5% to 3.75%.
The Dow was down over 1,100 points at the close today after the news. Ukraine's multi-billion-dollar drone industry capturing the attention of the United States and NATO members. Ambassador to the NATO, Matthew Whitaker on Fox, says Ukraine's innovating on the battlefield.
It's not just counter unmanned systems. It's not just one-way attack drones. It's surveillance drones. It's ground drones. It is underwater and surface of water drones.
Ukraine has been using long-range drone to target Russian energy infrastructure deep within their borders. America's listening to Fox News.
Wall Street is closing with stocks sharply lower. It comes after the Fed's decision to leave interest rates unchanged. It's the fifth straight time that the Fed has kept rates steady. At the closing bell, the Dow lost 1,153 points. The S&P 500 fell 112 points, and the Nasdaq dropped 433 points. President Trump says now it's the U.S.'s turn to hit Iran. While speaking to reporters today in the Oval Office, Trump was asked about Iran's ballistic missile attack on U.S. forces in the Middle East last night. U.S. Central Command said all of the missiles were successfully intercepted. Trump said the U.S. is set to hit Iran very hard in response. The president, though, again held out hope that diplomatic efforts will prevail. President Trump isn't commenting on whether Dr. Anthony Fauci should face a contempt of Congress vote in the Senate. Republican Senator Rand Paul said the Homeland Security Committee will vote on a contempt resolution against Fauci next week after he invoked the Fifth Amendment today in a COVID-19 hearing. I'm Chris Karaji.
Crews are still on the scene of a crash on Blue Angel Parkway at Muldoon Road. There's also a crash on 9 Mile Road at Untrainer Avenue. Congestion on Highway 98 from Daphne to I-10, 10-minute drive. Slow on the Bayway, east on I-10. From I-65 to the Eastern Shore, 24-minute drive. With time-saver traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Anna's here from Mobile Bay Coins and Fine Jewelry. Anna, if I want to buy some gold and silver bullion, what does your inventory look like?
Oh, we have a large selection. We always get compliments on how big our bullion collection is and jewelry as well, because a lot of the stuff you see in the case is only about 10% of what we have physically in the store. If you have a question or looking for something specific, just ask one of us and we'll be happy to help.
Call 251-725-1590 for Mobile Bay Coins.
I'm Nick Turturro. You probably know me from NYPD Blue, The Longest Yard, or Spike Lee's Black Klansman. And on my new podcast, Delivering Happiness with Nick Turturro, I deliver pizza to a new guest. I've shared a slice with everyone, from Seth Rollins.
What are you doing with my belt?
To Bill Burr.
I don't think I've ever met somebody so exactly out of their mind.
We even have more great guests coming up, including John Turturro.
It's called happiness.
Delivering happiness.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Delivering Happiness with Nick Turturro, and listen now.
High school football fans are counting down to kickoff, and so are we. Make Greer's your go-to destination for all your tailgating favorites. Fresh meats, prepared foods, snacks, drinks, and everything in between. Greer's has you covered with variety and pricing. Here's to a great year for the players, coaches, bands, cheerleaders, fans, and unforgettable Friday nights. From all of us at Greer's, good luck this season. For tailgating and tradition, Greer's got it, we guarantee it.
Imagine getting this kind of news. Karen Collins was in her 20s. She was newly married, and then her husband, Michael, was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer.
And he told me, and I just cried because I didn't really know what the plan was.
There was another fear, too, the medical bills. And thankfully, they were members of Medi-Share, and Medi-Share came through for them, and not just financially.
But they called and they said, hey, we know you're going through treatment. We just wanted to call and pray for you. And it rocked my world. And every time they called, it was like, how can we pray for you right now? How are you doing today?
Medishare was a blessing to us because they just made it so easy.
Yes, Medishare can save you a lot of money, but as Karen and Michael discovered, it's also about knowing you're not going through life's hardest moments alone. Call now, see why so many people have made the switch to Medishare. Here's the number. It's 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE, 844-43-BIBLE.
When it comes to supplements, two things matter most. A, that it works, and that you can trust it. Rather than just tell you about Relief Factor, we'll let our audience do that. We hear from people every single day whose lives have changed, and I want you to hear a few of their stories. Joni shared that before Relief Factor, her husband couldn't open his hands in the morning and had to give up playing the guitar. Now he wakes up with flexibility, and he's back to playing music. They are both recommending Relief Factor to friends as a way to enjoy the things they love again. I get what Joni's husband went through. I couldn't paint. I couldn't button my own shirts in the morning. The pain made it so difficult to hold a paintbrush or button my shirts. It was horrible. And they make it really easy now for you to find out if you can be the next person that's telling us about Relief Factor and how it gave you your life back. 3 weeks, $17.76. Try it. ReliefFactor.com, 800-4RELIEF. You'll connect with their friendly local team, and they'll do everything they can to help. We hope you soon will be sharing your story with us as well. ReliefFactor.com.
The Uncle Henry Show continues here on News Radio 710 WNTM. I appreciate very much you listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Telephone number here, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Now, we've got a chance for you to win some concert tickets at our website, newsradio710.com. There is a concert at the Wharf in Orange Beach next Tuesday night. It is Toto. T-O-T-O. Toto. Are you familiar with Toto? I'm not talking about the dog in The Wizard of Oz. I'm talking about the musical group Toto. They're going to be in concert at the Wharf in Orange Beach. Next Tuesday night, it's Toto with Christopher Cross and a group called The Romantics. And we've got your chance to win tickets to that concert. They're going to be drawing the winners Monday. So go ahead. If you're interested, enter to win now. Go to newsradio710.com. That's newsradio710.com. Look under contests and enter for your chance to win tickets to see Toto. Again, 251-479-2723, the telephone number. That's 251-479-2723. All right, let's see. I do have a voicemail message that was phoned into the Uncle Henry Show today. Let me go to the Uncle Henry Show voicemail.
Hey, it's Pat Nelly. Hope you're having a great day.
All right, someone claiming to be Pat Nelly.
Hope you're having a great day. Hey, listen. Does it seem to you that Mobile is becoming like the Wild Wild West? I can't open up any social media without I see murders, double murders, triple murders, stabbings. You know, it's really kind of crazy. I don't see it right around me, but I see where police cars have congregated, and I just saw a bank was just robbed on Mont Lamar.
Now, I'm pausing there to say, yes, I have noticed. In fact, watching the TV news, there's the beginning of the news is usually something like that. But yes, I've noticed the story. It was just a few days ago that there was some woman just sitting in a vehicle, minding her own business, and got hit by a stray shot. So yes, what you have pointed out, I have noticed. In fact, I'll tell you something about it here at the conclusion of your voicemail.
you know, it's really kind of crazy. I don't see it right around me, but I see where police cars have congregated, and I just saw a bank was just robbed on Mont Lamar. What is going on? Is it the growth of the city, or what's going on, huh? I mean, you know, when I vote, I'm thinking about two things. Actually,
hey, before you tell me what the two things you think of, you asked me what's going on. We know years ago in Mobile, Alabama, when we would notice this, we were told that crime was down. It was just we had a perception of it because maybe it happened near you, or maybe it was near you or somewhere in your neighborhood, that it was a perception of crime. But the crime was really down. It was just you were perceiving. You had a perception of crime. But we've been told for quite a while that crime is down.
What's going on, huh? I mean, you know, when I vote, I'm thinking about two things. Actually, three. You're going to keep us safe. You're going to fill all the potholes on Magnolia Avenue, which is like driving through a war zone. And are you going to raise my taxes? That's it. Stop playing and with all the fluffy stuff and the entertainment. Make this city safe and drivable. And lower my taxes. You're taxing my business out of business. Anyways, I'm getting mad at myself talking. I hope you have a great afternoon and roll tide.
Roll, Tide roll. Pat Nelly, or someone claiming to be Pat Nelly, thank you very much for your voicemail about this. So in your voicemail, you talk about seeing on social media and I guess in the news all these different shootings, murders, stabbings. I think you mentioned stabbings, robberies, all that kind of stuff. Well, this is played into my life. Because I have, for the past several years, have been living in Midtown Mobile. Even though I got a house that I have been renting out to other people. I got a house in Fairhope. Not as many shootings there, not yet anyway. But I've been living in Midtown Mobile. I love living in Midtown Mobile. Really do. Just love the people. Have never had a problem. Living near Murphy in Midtown Mobile. Great neighbors, just really had a great time. And I say had a great time because earlier this year, I guess it was about in February, my wife made the announcement one day. She just announced to me, as she was in the living room, she announced that she was no longer going to answer the door. And I said, what? She said, I'm no longer going to answer the door. I'm not answering the door anymore. And this was because even though we had never had a crime issue where we lived, every day we turned on the news, it seemed that there was some incident, some violent incident near where we lived. The streets that we drove on every day were always mentioned as the scenes of crimes. That was the perception we were getting. Turn on the news, the 2 streets over, mentioned as a crime scene. 2 streets the other direction the next day, mentioned as a crime scene. Then we had that shooting at that basketball game down at Murphy and all that kind of stuff. My wife got to the point, she told me she was never going to answer the door again. So, I wanted some domestic tranquility in my life. That's what I like. I'm married and I would like domestic tranquility. And so, because of her perceptions after watching the news and having all the streets around us, and every time there's a crime, we went through a period where there were several high-speed chases ended on streets very close to where we were. One guy was chased by the police and ended up crashing and dying like the next street over. So my wife wasn't having any more of this. And even though I love living in Midtown Mobile. I really do. Never had a problem. But at the beginning of June, in order to preserve my marriage, we packed up everything and I moved. Yes, I'm now revealing here on the Uncle Henry Show that we moved, and because of all this, maybe crime is down, but the perception of it all around me in my neighborhood caused us to move. And so we have now moved to my home there in Fairhope. And it's because exactly of what you said, Pat Nelly, in your voicemail. As you look in social media, you look at the news, and there's somebody being shot, stabbed, somebody getting hit by a stray bullet. My wife just did not want that to be part of her life. So now, back across the bay, and I guess this will be my final move, and I've moved constantly during my career, all over Mobile County, back and forth across the bay. This will be my final move until they put me in a home. And I'm sure that will occur sooner or later. Some type of rehab facility, so they'll put me somewhere. I just asked that whenever they put me in a facility, I would like every now and again if you could just wheel me into the sun, because I do every now and again just wheel the wheelchair out into the sun so I get a little sun. But, we moved because of what you addressed there, Pat Nelly, and even if they're going to tell us that the crime stats are down, they're going to have to work on the perception of it. Because it's not a good perception. I don't know what I would find if I looked in the news today, but it's we've already outlined what's in there all the time. And you're right about you said in your message, stop playing with all the fluffy stuff in the entertainment. It was about 6 years ago or longer that Mayor Stimson, at the beginning of his final term, had some there was some, one of his things he wanted to accomplish was it involved entertainment in this town. I don't mind the government being involved in fun things for people to do and big events and entertainment. But the basics should always go first when it comes to a city government. To me, the basics would be the infrastructure, having decent infrastructure that is well maintained, and that includes streets, that includes drainage, sidewalks, that kind of thing. That'd be a basic. It would also be having a really good police department. And it would also be having a good fire department. These are the basics. Otherwise, why have a town? And it's up to each individual voter to decide, do they think if the basics are being covered properly? We went many years where the basics weren't covered in this town. And I think in the last 12 years plus, there's been a big effort to take care of the basics. But this perception of the Wild Wild West and being worried about getting hit by a stray bullet when the sun goes down, they're going to need to do something about that. It doesn't happen in every neighborhood, but there's enough of the town where people are wondering and knowing that, well, I need gas, but I'm not going to stop here to get my gas because the sun is down. And if you have the ability not to live in those circumstances, if you have the ability to live somewhere where that's not something you have to worry about, you're going to go there if you can. All right, there is more to come. The Uncle Henry Show continues here on News Radio 710 WNTM, but got to take a quick time out. Back with more show after the break. The Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM. We have news headlines coming up in less than 10 minutes after we have the news headlines in the 6 o'clock hour. I will talk to Alabama congressional candidate John Mills. John Mills running in the primary August 11th. An opportunity to hear what he's all about. That is coming up right after 6 o'clock here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Hello, caller.
Hey, Uncle Henry, Navco Bill.
Navco Bill, you are live on the radio.
Hey, I sure hate that you moved back across the bay because, you know, I'd rather take a straight bullet than have to drive that causeway or bayway every day.
Well, you know, it has not been as bad as you might imagine. It has not been as bad as you might imagine.
I guess it all just depends on the time of day.
It does. Plus, I've got an attitude because I realize that at my age, I've only got, 15, 20 years left working in broadcasting. So I realize it's a short-term thing.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that guy that called earlier about Jerry Carl, wasn't that Jerry Carl's campaign manager?
You know, I don't know, but Jerry Carl's got a lot of friends around here. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a lot of friends that would love to call in and advocate for him.
Yeah, and as long as it's a Republican and not a Democrat, that's all I care about. I mean, you know, I think our bench is deep, and I'll evaluate them all. And like you said, I have always voted from the time I was 18 till now, which I'm about 60. So I think I missed one election, and that's when I first moved to Auburn, and it was like a local city election, and I really didn't know what was what, and I probably haven't even had time to get registered yet. But anyway, yeah, everybody needs to get out there and vote, and especially Republicans. Democrats can stay home. That'd be all right. Yeah, I mean, you know, I know that if it's a low turnout, well, my vote's going to count a heck of a lot more.
That's right. This is going to be one where if you really wonder, does my vote count, it's really going to count this time.
Yep. So, anyway, I guess I'm going to have some Uncle Henry withdrawal. I'll have to listen to some podcasts the next few days.
Well, I appreciate that, but I will be back, and I hope I will have some very interesting tales to tell when I'm back Monday.
That'd be great. Have a good weekend, Uncle Henry.
Thank you very much. I appreciate very much your phone call, Navco Bill. No, the drive is not as bad as I thought it would be, and it is. But I've of course noticed it's been several years since I did the commute, and it is undeniable that the sheer volume of vehicles is way up in just the last few years. So if they are able to break ground on this new bridge later this year, it can't come too soon. It really can't. All right, let's see. Almost out of time. Before we go to our news break, today is not just a regular Wednesday, it's also National Chicken Wing Day. Yeah, chicken wings get their own day. One of the reasons there is such a thing, National Chicken Wing Day, I never heard this before, but I saw a stat that more than 1.2 billion servings of chicken wings are ordered every year in the United States of America. 1.2 billion servings. That's a lot of chickens providing a lot of chicken wings in this country. And the thing that, see, to me, when I was a little kid, there was no such thing as chicken nuggets. Wings were the things we ate as kids. The adults got the bigger pieces of chicken. In wings, chicken wings, that's what the kid would eat. Well, now we're at a point in our lives where the adults want the wings. Big change. All right, look, out of time, back with more after the news break on the Uncle Henry Show.